Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 17th of February. So, starting off looking at what news we got coming out today, and well, there's not a great deal. We've already seen UK inflation coming out. It came out slightly higher at 0.7 versus 0.6, so fractionally higher there year on year. Aside of that, then we've got some Canadian data inflation now as well at 130, along with the US retail sales at 130. Not expecting big moves, but we will get some volatility around those retail sales, I expect. We've got the FOMC meeting minutes at 7 p.m. this evening. Now, obviously, there's I think that what people might be picking over there, I don't expect a lot of movement, but what people may be picking over there is whether there's any sort of hawkishness or dovishness sitting around in potential rate changes in about 2 years' time. So it really is as little as that to be working with today. So let's have a look at the technicals on that basis. There's nothing else I want to be looking at there. So the technicals, well, what we got, start looking at the euro dollar as ever. Yesterday saw this shooting star effectively into some key levels. It's back through some key levels, effectively just coming short of its monthly pivot there, but shooting star, and we've seen a continuation so far today. I was looking through here for points of support. Well, there's one I just missed actually, that around that 2057, which are those prior lows. If it can, I know we've pierced that area, but occasionally it's been an area 1, 2, 3 times before. Maybe it'll hold up at about 2057-ish. May have a bit of support, but aside of that, well, actually that might be where the 50% retrace sits. Aside of that, then, well, it's a bit of a free fall down towards 2040, so it's not too far difference there into that 4 hourly 500 weekly S1 pivot, and then coming down here, well, the S2's at 2049, so there's quite a lot around the 2050-ish area at the moment. Maybe we just won't see that, and it'll just turn where it is. It's early part of the morning here, so often we see changes, but the way it's shaping up here across these time frames, I prefer the downside. So really looking to see if we can get a retrace post 8 o'clock. If it starts then rolling back, I'll join the case for the downside there. As I say, we've got some reasonable opportunities before we get directly into some support. Right, okay, the pound, so slightly higher inflation out this morning. Yesterday, doji bar looking a little on the softer side from that point of view, but had made it yet, as I said, another new high here. It's holding up better than some of these other markets. It's again put a doji in on the previous 4 hour there. But still lower highs, lower lows, bigger picture through here. If it breaks through this morning, if it continues this move and breaks this 38.60, well, again, we'll be just sort of scratching around looking for support areas on it. Obvious places on the pound would be that 4 hourly 50 if it starts pushing down there. Okay, that's the pound, the yen. Now I call this the yen, and there is some confusion. Of course, I'm talking the dollar yen. Those traders out there a lot, and I'm saying I'm looking for the yen to go up. I'm looking at the dollar yen going up, and I'm still. This is well on its path here on the dailies. From my, as I said, I took a position. I'm quite happy being out there. That was last week. That is okay. It's running up nicely at the moment, and I can see further unwinding of the yen positions. We saw it this week, so I expect this dollar yen to continue pushing up there then. So solid old moves so far. Maybe retracements give opportunities for shorter term trades. We may have just missed one here actually. It's pushed up. Nice swing sort of movement coming through there off the 21 on the 60-minute. So maybe the dollar yen will continue pushing up there towards that R1. It does though, if it does do any rollover, got a target below there. But as of the monthly daily pivot. But I am bullish on the dollar yen. as I say, most people that trade understand they're very effective. I'm saying bullish on the yen. I'm looking at dollar yen because that's the way the chart's going up. But there we are, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, so the Aussie dollar already still in this move. Again, a bit of a bearish bar there. It's like the pound. A lot of these bearish bars don't make it key for absolute reversals, but that is a bearish engulfing bar that we saw there yesterday. Maybe we'll see a bit more of a correction from it. It's near a high, so we'll watch out for it. It really followed the map of what happened with the euro, and the pound to a degree, and their retracements here. And at the moment, it still looks a bit iffy. It does have support where it's sitting now. It's banging to well, it's not actually touched by the looks of things. It's 4-hourly 50. Maybe it will run. It's air kissed them a couple of times. Maybe it will run through it now. Looking down the time frames here, so logical places of support would be that 60-minute 200, for example. So there we go. Looks logical at the moment. Just see how things kick off post 8 o'clock. Okay, Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar seeing a bit of bounce. So this is the US dollar, Canadian dollar, bullish engulfing, just like the well, we've seen elsewhere. We've got these engulfing candles here. Maybe see a bit more continuation to the upside. We have got this sort of bunch of moving averages to break through. Key ones 21, 34 and 50. If it's had a nibble in those before, and as ever it's pulled back, making them look like they've been quite effective. Well, I suppose in some respects, if people have been selling into them, they are effective, and we'll see if it happens again. But at the moment, it just it's sort of the dollar strength through here, US dollar strength. It does look like, well, it could continue in this upward vein. We have got some trend lines which I haven't drawn on here. If I can, I will. Let's just see if I can do it on the first attempt. Oh, there we go. And this could be quite key across these latest 2 points here, along with that 200 may provide a bit of resistance. Canadian dollar been doing pretty well of late. Well, as you can see over the last couple of weeks, when it started breaking down previous week there, and last week mainly down, and this week already started off, but we'll see. Let's say bigger picture. Well, it's near the previous bottoms, and maybe it is getting a sort of the effect of a double bottom. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar, a horrible chop on the dailies, and well, it's fallen behind somewhat. Its peers here. It does look like it's got further downside there with today's move following through there. So looking weak. It's again, I can see it's broken the trend line of these last 2 points here at least, and it does look a bit on the softer side there. Maybe a bit of divergence though coming through on 60-minute here, but as I said, it just looks a bit soft at this stage. Now these markets could switch, and the New Zealand dollar may benefit from it. It's having, as I said, a harder time of late. Aussie New Zealand has been there we go, pushing up, and on the shorter time frames just came short of where I was looking for yesterday, but here we go. It's bounced and is currently pushing back up there now, and as I say, I see further down upside in that Aussie New Zealand dollar. Looking across the pound yen, I often get questions on. Let's just a quick look at that briefly, and again, even though we're seeing the pound dollar soften here, the pound yen still looking relatively strong there. It never came back to what I was looking for previously. I was looking for a bit of a retrace the other day, never came back. You see my little alarm still sitting there. Bit of divergence at the moment though. Who knows, it may pull back. It's getting a bit extended, maybe from some of its key moving averages, but maybe just consolidation will happen there with a softer yen. That's that. Let's have a look then at the S&Ps. Already pushed up to new highs this morning. He said, no, that was yesterday. I'm glad I really looked at this. That was yesterday. It pushed up to new highs today. It hasn't made new highs. There we go. Consolidating here with the dollar strength coming through. It'll be interesting to see what happens later, particularly when the US cash market's open. But at the moment, well, support may be off that weekly pivot there, and the 50, etc. So it has got a bit of support where it's sitting at the moment. If it breaks down and continues to breaking down here, I would look for a support area and maybe even consider a buy and buying a bit of a position into it. I know it's got to at some point have more of a correction. Maybe this is the signal for it, but we see many signals sitting out there around the highs initially, and they look quite bearish, and yet this market just seems to go on. But I'd wait for a bigger correction or signal of a correction if I really wanted to short this market. Okay, that's the S&Ps. Gold suffered yesterday as well, moving back down towards that monthly S1 sort of area, not far off the bodies, those previous lows. It doesn't look particularly good now. It's consolidating and looks like it's got further downside, so potentially further downside sitting on this gold as it sits there. Silver held up a little bit better, but also had a negative bearish engulfing day yesterday, and well, if it starts breaking the lows of that, yeah, we could just see a continuation even. If I can get the right words out. Consolidated where it is though. If it can hold on here, maybe it will just start outperforming. It is still in that very slight upward trend, and well, has potential, I think, maybe just to follow through there, but a slow move as opposed to the big moves that we'd seen previously. Looking at oil's turned the corner a little bit here and pushed back up. This morning she's just come back out to dailies there. I mean, it keeps on. I mean, a doji bar yesterday was quite a soft bar, but it does look like, well, it's going to push up the cold winter in the US, possibly fueling it. Get the pun. And maybe we'll see a bit more of a push up for now at least. But my bigger picture still is a bit more of a correction, but who knows? It may run all the way up to $70-80 at this rate. Right, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look and see if I can show you a bit of Bitcoin, what it's been up to. It's been running on the cash market. I can. Been running up to the 50,000s, and it's broken through there, running quite nicely now. Let's have a look at, sorry, I need to look at another chart just to see that, yep, that's the cash market. So it's sitting at the same, well, actually cash market sitting slightly lower than this futures market, but very similar. Ethereum is more consolidated on the dailies, I noticed there, but XRP, Ripple just come off a little bit there. Just been coming off over the last couple of 3 days there. But as I say, these are long-term picture things, that investments, if you can call them that. So I wouldn't be looking too worried about a bit of a retrace over a few days. How much more down for gold? How long's a piece of string? All you can really look at, John, is looking at support levels, and you know, we do have these support levels. If these start getting broken at sort of 1776, you really sort of need to come back out and then look at, well, there's your 1776, 1772 area. I mean, it's broken through that 50 now. That was providing support previously. You're then looking down towards, I suppose, the 100 sits below the next support level across there. I'm sure there's some trend lines running across. In fact, let's see if I can pop them on here. There we go. So, oh, they are. It's coming not too far off with that 100. There may be some horizontal levels which to look at as well, and just sort of looking around this sort of area. So it's not too far short of them, and maybe a couple of other points. There we go. Well, that's the previous low there. So there's the sort of next couple of points if it goes into a bit more of a free fall. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you all a great day, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.